Hey everyone, it's Melissa Terzis, DC Real Estate Mama, and this is Living in DC. Today I am in lovely downtown Bethesda at Bethesda Row, which you can see all the shops behind me. And today we're going to talk about Bethesda and what makes it a great place to live. All right, let's start with location. So just northwest of Washington, D.C., the Western Avenue boundary separates D.C. from Chevy Chase and Bethesda. So Bethesda is an unincorporated CDP, census-designated place in Southern Montgomery County. CDP means it has like no official boundaries. And a little bit of history. Bethesda is actually named after a local church, Bethesda Meeting House. And it was just farms and a little village here up until the 1890s when the streetcar came into existence. So it made its way up to Chevy Chase in Maryland and DC and then into Bethesda area. So the population, as you would expect, people settled very close to where those streetcars and the stops were so that they could, get in and out of the city and downtown. But until cars became more common in the mid-1900s, you didn't start to see the population in Bethesda expand to what it is today. So the growth really spread out all over the place, and Bethesda kind of grew into what we know it now. When Metro came in 1984, Bethesda then exploded into a major commercial center with many companies and government contractors setting up their local shop here and sometimes their headquarters. So did you know Bethesda is home to corporate headquarters of some places that you may have heard of? How about Marriott Hotels? Have you ever heard of them? They include Ritz-Carlton and Le Meridian hotels, which you might have heard of them as well. Total Wine and More, glug, 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 glug. Lockheed Martin, Walter Reed Medical Center, and National Institute of Health, NIH. All right, let's talk about real estate here. So Bethesda's filled with a wide variety of home styles and neighborhoods. The tree-lined streets are gonna have colonials, bungalows, arts and crafts styles, mid-century, and everybody's favorite, the McMansion, where somebody buys a lot, tears down the house that's there, and builds something a whole lot bigger that goes, almost to what they call the zero lot line, like to end the lot. So Bethesda is definitely a community that many developers have had their eye on for years. They buy up these small ranch houses or rambler houses that once were for the land, knock everything down, and then they build a huge home on that lot. And I actually did a whole video with my husband, who's a real estate developer in Montgomery and Frederick County, on tear downs and also land development, so check that out as well. So single family homes are gonna set you back about 7 figures here. I know that's crazy. There's gonna be some homes that are in the 800s and 900s, but they're going to typically need a lot of work. And then try calling a contractor. Once they hear that you live in Bethesda, your price just went up and up and up. Bethesda clients of mine were gutting their kitchen and they got, this is a very small kitchen, and they got a crazy price for like $70,000 for a 10 by 10 kitchen. No, it's a lot of money. So a lot with a house that you can tear down is gonna cost you about $700,000 to $800,000, and then you've got to build the house. And depending on the finishes and the fixtures that you choose, that's probably gonna run you another $500,000 to $700,000. So tearing down and rebuilding is at a minimum gonna cost you like 1.5, 1.6 million. Those prices are creeping a lot closer to 2 million these days, and you're seeing developers flip them and ask for more than 2 million. So an interesting twist, because Bethesda is so urban, there are actually townhomes and condos here as well, and they are very close to the retail and shopping areas. So a rental cost in DC average for about 900 to 1,000 square feet is about $2,400 a month. Prices do go up from there because there is also a lot of what they call luxury here, which is going to be much higher end rentals. And the rents are about in line with Washington, DC. All right, let's talk about food here. So there's a lot of good eating in Bethesda, and there's a lot of well-known restaurants, but then there's also a lot of more fancy, highfalutin kind of places if you want that. And then there's also the local places that have been here for a long time. So here's something too that people won't necessarily tell you. A hole-in-the-wall restaurant in Bethesda is always worth trying. And I've been shocked at how great the food is in some of these restaurants with, let's say, zero ambiance. The Bethesda Eater has high standards. If a restaurant can't get 4+ out of 5 stars here on all the review sites, then it doesn't last. Bethesda is home to many fabulous restaurants: Italian, Mexican, Lebanese, French, Greek, pizza, American, Asian, and here's some of the top restaurants in the area. So for Italian, you've got Positano. Mexican and tapas, you have Jaleo, Gringos and Mariachis, Casa, Oaxaca, Guapos, which is a local chain. For French, you have the Bistro Provence, Mon Ami Gabi, Le Vieux Logis. There's Big Greek Cafe, which is not necessarily like a place you would go for a nice dinner, but I'm sorry, that's not how Greek food's supposed to be. It's just like cooked by your mom or your yaya. And then you've got American restaurants. You've got True Food, Black's Kitchen, and Black's Bar and Kitchen, Original Pancake House, the Alatri Brothers, Founding Farmers, Old Georgetown Grill, Barrel and Crow, Morton Steakhouse, Bethesda Crab House, Woodmont Grill, and Woodmont has been in Bethesda since 1992. They've got modern cuisine, they have baked in-house breads and unique seafood selection, top quality USDA prime steaks, and delicious salads, and I promise I don't work for them. Sushi, you have Hinata. Pizza, you have Pizzeria DeMarco. I was actually getting my hair done the other day in Bethesda, which my person is here in Bethesda, and that was next to Pizzeria DeMarco, and they kept talking about how wonderful it was. There's Call Your Mother, which is bagels. People actually line up for these bagels, and even if you try to order online just a bagel with a schmear of cream cheese, you're still gonna wait like 75 to 90 minutes. And then don't miss the Tasty Diner. So this is a tiny relic from the past that is open 24/7. My husband and I went there once in the middle of the night back when we were dating, and I'm gonna tell you, it did not disappoint. Neither the food, the characters that came in, or the company. I was falling in love. There's also farmers markets here. There's Bethesda Central in the parking lot of Bethesda Elementary School. That is on Sundays from 9 to 1:30 year round. You also have the Montgomery Farm Women's Co-op, which is open daily from 7 to 4, and that's right on Wisconsin Avenue. You have the Central Farm Market on Westlake Drive, which is Saturdays from 9 to 1:30, and then the Bethesda Farmers Market in Veterans Park on Sundays, which is from 10 to 1:30. All right, as far as grocery stores, you have everything here. You have Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Harris Teeter, Giant, anything, Safeway, anything you could possibly want. All right, so now that you've eaten, I can't not mention the shopping. So there's shopping. And remember malls? There's Montgomery Mall, and they have a Nordstrom's. I'm in Bethesda Row, which is downtown. The Apple store is actually behind me. There's North Face, Lululemon, Athletica, Lilly Pulitzer, and the area's biggest Anthropologie. There are also 4 country clubs in Bethesda if that's your kind of fun. There's Congressional, Bethesda Country Club, Burning Tree Country Club, and Kenwood Country Club. Bethesda also has a pretty rich arts community. There's the Bethesda Blues and Jazz Supper Club, which has a theater. The theater was built in 1938, and then it became a movie theater, and then that was sold in 2010 at an auction, because remember those days, real estate was not good. It was extensively renovated. The man who renovated it actually taught a class when I was getting my broker's license, like elevating from salesperson / agent to broker, and he was telling us all about the renovation of the club, and it was pretty fantastic, and he's made it super successful. So there are several theaters for performing arts in Bethesda as well. There's Roundhouse Theater, there's Strathmore, which is a little bit up the way, Wisconsin Avenue, it's in North Bethesda. There are also tons of galleries, art galleries, things like that. You also have the Landmark Theater, which has indie movies. So fun fact, I was talking about my hair before, I get my Greek fro done at M Studio in Bethesda, right next to Pizzeria DeMarco, and he's amazing. We also did a video together, so check out my video with M Studio and Michael, because he's amazing and I can't say enough wonderful things about him. And if this isn't enough for you, there's a bus that goes right from downtown Bethesda to New York City in 4 hours. And so maybe this is fun, maybe it's not fun, but you're gonna have tons of yoga, Pilates studios, and cycle studios in Bethesda as well. All right, since I'm a mom, let's talk about the kids. So this urban suburb of DC gives you pretty much everything that you could want for your children. The public schools here are highly sought after, they are top rated, which is why many people choose to move here and why property values hold as a result. So I live in DC, and my kids have taken various classes here in Bethesda, and I'm talking like after school and camp kind of classes, because the offerings are so amazing. You've got YMCA here at Airlong, which offers like gymnastics and tons of different programs and things, and the Bethesda location's fantastic. There's Imagination Stage, which is dance and theater classes and camps for toddlers to teens. You also have My Gym, which is off River Road. I went there for years when my kids were like little ones, and they really, really enjoyed it. And for older kids, they do indoor parkour as well. All right, there's also Glen Echo Park, which is a few minutes from Bethesda. They have classes, they have camps in arts and dance and music, and there's also an aquarium there for kids that's super highly rated, and also kind of tagged as like a must-do. And then there's Littletown Children's Museum in North Bethesda. So another place to go for fun with kids. I took mine there this weekend. We did a video. They didn't love hiking, but I'm trying to work on that with them. So Cabin John Regional Park. It's one of Bethesda's most popular parks. The park has plenty of ball courts and ballparks and courts with a dog park there, and summertime indoor skating at the Cabin John ice rink. There's also a great playground for kids, which we checked out as well, and miles of hiking trails, and then there's a train to ride. We rode the train too. There's Little Falls Park, which is 160 acres. They also have a playground. There's a bunch of little parks. There's Elm Street Park, Cheltenham Drive, Battery Lane, Greenwich Neighborhood Park. There's Bolero in Bethesda that is either for, like, say, fun date nights or for family fun. There's 34 bowling alley lanes there. There's bar food, fun lights, great cocktails. All right, let's talk about the dogs. So Bethesda is pretty dog friendly. Roof, roof. All right, many of the restaurants mentioned actually allow dogs outside, which is fantastic, on the patios. Barrel and Crow, Cafe, Oaxaca, Founding Farmers, Ooh La La Soufflés, Alatri Brothers, they all allow dogs on their patio. Cabin John, as I mentioned, also has a dog park. You also have Capitol Crescent Trail. The trailhead's here in Bethesda, and it goes all the way 7 miles down to Georgetown. You can walk dogs on there as long as they're unleashed. And then you also can head to North Bethesda, where there's Bark Social in Pike and Rose shopping area, and you can grab a beer or a coffee and hang with your doggy. There's a little dog park there. So that's it. It's a lot here. This is definitely a huge area, a huge CDP as they call it. And there's a lot to know and love about Bethesda. There's a lot of offerings here. A lot of people move here. They do find it pedestrian friendly. Walkability is fantastic. As you can see, it's the middle of a day. There's people wandering around behind me, shopping, eating at the restaurants. And there's a lot to do here. So I am Melissa Terzis, DC Real Estate Mama. If you have any questions at all about Bethesda or anything real estate related, let me know. My contact info is incoming.